There's a new player in town, and he's targeting art collections from galleries. A masked intruder falls from the roof into a dark room. He chooses a painting carefully and then wait for the guards to come. After easily taking out all 3 guards, the art thief zips back up the line and out the way he came. Beware, spoilers ahead. Gotham Morning News wrote about the theft and said that City Hall was the target. Detective Sophia Green, who is known as a criminologist, has been asked to help by the GCPD. The hosts of the episode say that this sounds like a job for their new local heroes, the mysterious Gotham Knights. The Knights are in the belfry watching the news, and Harper doesn't like a job that involves finding overpriced swirls of paint. Cullen seems a little annoyed by her opinion, but Turner and Duela, among others, seem to agree with her at first. Turner points out that they have bigger problems, which is true. Carrie and Stephanie show up with donuts and news about Brody and Lincoln March. The Knights won't know who attacked Lincoln until they figure out how the Talon has been alive for so long. Duela says that she may have an idea of how to find out what's going on and how to help them. Later, Duela sends Carrie a text message telling her to meet her in the garage, where she is getting out of the school's driver's ed car, which has been hotwired. Carrie doesn't like that, but it won't bother her as much once Duela tells her who's in the trunk, Eunice Harmon. Even though Carrie is horrified that Duela took the old woman, Duela slowly convinces her that Eunice is the only one who knows what's going on with Felix Harmon, aka the Talon. Sometimes you have to do bad things to get what you want. Cullen and Stephanie had a short conversation over coffee and crullers about how important art is, which made Stephanie think. She has found a link between the stolen works of art. At the time of his death, Alan Wayne owned all of them. All of a sudden, it seems like the missing doodles for rich people are the Gotham Knights' problem after all. Officer Rose Rubber Ducky still lets Stephanie hack into the GCPD, which is good news. But there's nothing there that can help them, and it looks like the police are as confused as they are. Harper has a plan to learn more that doesn't involve using the computer. She wants to go ask her famous ex-boyfriend Dylan McKillen what he knows about the art thefts. But first, she has to win him over, because the last time they saw each other, he was ready to turn her in for a prize. She talks him around and says she's sorry for what happened between them. She gets him to eat out of her hand quickly, but it doesn't help. Even Gotham's bad guys don't know who is taking the art. Stephanie has figured out that there is still one picture that Alan Wayne owned at the time of his death that hasn't been broken into. The piece is being kept at the Kane Museum, but not there. It looks like the Gotham Knights need to go find a thief. Back in the temporary jail of the kidnapper, Eunice is being her usual sassy self. Why should she say anything to them? When Papa comes to chop off their cute little heads, they can ask all their Talon questions. Since they took away her music box, Eunice doesn't want to share. Duela loses her temper and starts cutting off the air to the old woman. Carrie gets her to stop, and she tells Eunice that she will give back her stolen music box if they can have a nice talk. Now that Eunice has the music box, she tells Carrie about the Court of Owls party she used to go to when she was younger. Carrie tries to find out who went to the parties, but Eunice says that everyone always wore a mask. She says that the court would always give her what she asked for. When it was found out that Felix was the butcher of Gotham, the court made a deal with him. They could make sure he didn't die by hanging if he worked for them instead. They gave him something, but Eunice says she can't remember what it was called. She does know that the last of it was used on Felix and that since then, the court has been looking for more. When Eunice says she's thirsty, Duela's anger starts to flare up again. Carrie says she'll go get her some water. The rest of the Knights are just waiting around for their art thief to show up. Cullen is upset that he didn't bring enough snacks. The masked thief from the beginning of the story finally shows up, a little late, all dressed up and ready to break in and steal the last picture. The Knights try to catch up, but the thief quickly throws them off and fires at Harper. The Knights get out of the way of the bullets by ducking behind a car. Stephanie and Cullen find out that Harper was only scratched while Turner uses one of his batarangs to take the gun away from the shooter. One of the shots hits the car and hits the thief in the knee. Turner and Cullen go after the thief while Stephanie helps Harper. It turns out that Detective Green is the one who stole the art. The Court of Owls has taken her family hostage and is making her get the paintings back for them so they can go free. She doesn't know who the boss was. Cullen and Turner tell her that they will get the picture for her so that she can save her family. Stephanie uses a piece of her shirt to bind Harper's wound, and the two of them bond. When Carrie goes to get Eunice some water, Duela reluctantly offers to wind up Eunice's music box. Eunice, who she thought was old and in a wheelchair, turns out to not be quite so old and in a wheelchair after all. As soon as Duela gets close to the music box, Eunice dives for the spinning ballerina inside and pulls it out. This reveals a long, sharp metal spike at the bottom of the ballerina, which she uses to stab Duela in the hand. While Duela is screaming, Eunice puts her breathing tubes around her neck and starts to choke her. Carrie gets there just in time to pull Eunice off of Duela. She asks Duela what happened and if she knew Eunice could stand. Eunice laughs in a mean way as Duela pulls the dancer out of her hand. Duela goes back to the belfry to tell the other knights about Felix Harmon's secret sauce while Carrie takes care of Eunice. The knights are back at the building of the Kane Museum, trying to figure out how to get in. They'll have to smash and grab, or run and grab, since they'll only have 60 seconds, but the door doesn't even have a lock. Turner solves the problem with a bat tool that he stole from Carrie. Harper and Stephanie keep the van's engine going while Turner and Cullen blow the door open and jump in. There are a lot of paintings in the building, and they are on limited time. They find the scenery they need, a medieval tower on a cliff near the ocean with sheep, much to Cullen's confusion, but not before the guards arrive. Turner and Cullen try to get away from the guards by sneaking through the aisles. Cullen finally throws a goblet to create a diversion, and they run to the van. Harper hits it, and the Gotham Knights run off into the night. The Knights use Detective Green's burner phone to find out where to leave the painting. They park, and Turner takes the painting out to meet the owls, while wearing a mask, of course. The person from the court decides to take the painting after using a knife to make sure it is real. Right away, lasers lock Turner in place, and the order to kill the prisoners and Turner is given. Turner handles it pretty well and calmly tells them they might want to think again. Because, as Duela drags Eunice out of the car and tells the court, they brought along a very angry insurance policy. The plan is good. The court won't put Eunice in danger, so they let the Knights and Detective Green's family go. Lincoln marches unconscious at Gotham General Hospital while the Knights investigate Alan Wayne's art in the Talon. Harvey comes to check on him while Rebecca is taking care of him. They talk for a while. They go for a walk, and Rebecca tells him that she was more afraid about Harvey when she heard that Lincoln had been attacked at Harvey's office. Harvey tells Rebecca that she and Brody need to leave the city. No one can be trusted. Harvey is in his office going through his case files, which include a picture of Lincoln. He tries to keep going, but he keeps having flashbacks to the night Lincoln was killed. Harvey is clearly being hurt a lot by the Talon's bold attack. Rebecca calls and stops him in the middle of his work. She is afraid. She gave Brody to his grandparents and stayed behind to pack. She feels like she's being watched, and someone keeps calling the house and hanging up. Harvey says that he'll be there in a minute. The phone rings again just a few minutes after Harvey gets to the march home. He asks the GCPD to track the number, and they find that Lincoln's lover, Miranda Livingston, is making the calls. Rebecca talks Harvey into getting a drink with her, which turns into more when she talks about how she wishes she had ended up with Harvey instead of Lincoln. Rebecca says in bed later that this is usually when she sees the other part of Harvey. They start talking about whether or not it's possible for them to be together. Harvey tells Rebecca he has something he needs to tell her, but then they get a call from the hospital that Lincoln is awake. The Gotham Knights save Detective Green's family, and Gotham News now is happy about that. Duela is still upset about the whole doing good thing, but Turner tries to make her feel better about it. He says that she is not a good person just because she did a good thing. Carrie comes down the stairs and gives Duela the ballerina that Eunice used to stab her as a bad memory. The two talk about doing good things and bad things, and how it's not always clear which is which. Duela is happy with the creepy little thing and goes to put it back in the music box. In the process, she opens a secret room that turns out to be full of photos of the masked court of owls. When Harvey Dent goes back to his office, Cressida is waiting for him, and a group of owls in masks are setting fire to the paintings they had Detective Green and the Knights steal for them. Cressida says, "I need your help," and then she tries to convince Harvey that what she knows is more important than what she has done. She knows what the court is going to do, and it will touch everyone in Gotham. As the half-circle of owls watches, the paintings light up and slowly show what looks like metal underneath the paint, making patterns that look like maps. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to see more videos like this. Click like and turn on notification to help out the channel.